Today we are doing sectors and arc length. Okay, so the board keeps getting cluttered with more circles as we continue to go round and round this topic, and we circle back to the same stuff over and over. Equal distance. Yes? Question. On top of the skateboard is my logo, Mr. G. Yep. Alright, so let's do this. By the way, you want to make sure you've turned in your circle assignments over here on the slidey board. And if you're still taking a quiz, make sure you finish that. But most people finished. Alright, so we are talking about pizza. No, we're talking about arc length and area of a sector. So, who likes pizza? 3, 4, 5, okay. Not even half the class? Oh, okay, sorry. Who loves pizza? Who loves pizza? Okay. Now Miss Morero thinks I'm weird because I only like pepperoni. Like, that's it. So who likes supreme pizza? Supreme means everything's on it. So raise your hand if you like supreme pizza. Like barely one? So I'm right. Pepperoni is king, right? Yeah. All right. Maybe extra pepperoni, maybe extra cheese, but you don't need nothing else. And we're not even going to talk about pineapples. We're not going there. We're not going there. Canadian bacon's pretty good, but ranch. Okay, well, all right, so back to this. Why are we talking about pizza? Because it's just an example of a circle. And here we go. So we're going to find the area of a full-size pizza, and then we're going to try to find the area of a slice. Okay? So, okay, focus, please. So, can we please focus, please? Self-control. Buddy. Okay, so, how do I find the area of a full-size pizza, or a circle, right? So, it says it right here. We've been using that when we did a big B of a cylinder and a cone. Pi r squared. Does everyone remember? Pi r squared, right? So, what's the radius of this pizza? If all the way across is 30, halfway is 15, right? So fill in this blank, pi 15 squared. Okay. Now today, here's something new, okay? I'm going to teach you how to give me an answer in terms of pi. So this is brand new, so everyone should be writing this down. Please. So, to get the answer, we would type in our calculators normally pi 15 squared, right? So, what we're going to do different today is we are going to not type in the pi. So here's what I mean. Instead of pi 15 squared, we'll just put 15 squared, okay? 15 squared is 225. So for my answer, I'm going to put 225, but since I did not type a pi in my calculator, I need to write a pi symbol next to that number. Do you see how this is nice and clean? There's no decimals, and it's still the correct answer. So off to the side here, I want you to write, this means terms of pi, or in terms of pi. When you do not multiply pi, that's called in terms of pi. But you got to write a pi symbol next to that number, okay? Now, for the next blank, I'm going to write the decimal answer. So I'm going to multiply pi for the decimal answer, okay? So I'm going to go back to the calculator. I'm going to type in pi 15 squared. So remember, pi is down at the bottom left, times 15 squared. So you see how this one gives us a decimal, 706.86. Since I typed the pi, I do not write the pi, okay? Those are two different answers. Either one of these, this or this, they're both correct. Just sometimes I'm going to ask you to do one or the other. So if I say, give me the decimal, type the pi. If I say terms of pi, do not type it, you write it, okay? So I'm not trying to make this more confusing. This is just stuff you see beyond geometry. Algebra 2, it makes things nice and neat without decimals, okay? So let's look at this down here. Half a circle. Y'all agree this is 180, right? What about right here? This arc, how many degrees is that? 90 over 360. Okay, we're figuring out how many degrees are these slices. What about over here? 49. And whatever this is, x is going to be x over 360, right? Now here's why we just filled in all those angles, right? Because that angle tells you how much slice of pizza, right? Some of us want to eat 360 slice of pizza. By the way, who's eaten a full, normal-sized pizza before? All right, don't be shy. No judgment. All right. By the way, y'all ever seen those commercials for Planet Fitness? You go work out there and you get free pizza. What's up with that? It doesn't make sense unless they're trying to keep you needing to go there. Then it makes perfect sense. All right. But anyways, pro tip: don't eat pizza when you work out. But what do I know? All right. Well, don't only eat pizza. Okay. Let me get this. So, how many degrees is that slice of pizza over there? It says 60 degrees, right? So we're going to fill that in the blank. And what's the radius of this slice of pizza? 8, right? So I want everyone to look right here. This is my formula for what we call a slice of pizza. But above this, we're going to write sector. Now, we're not going to bring in the Mortal Kombat reference again, but it's a sector. It's a slice of a circle, okay? It's the area of some piece of a circle, okay? So that's why we put a little fraction. So that's why we're doing sector notes, okay? All right, so do y'all remember what this little symbol's called right here? The Greek letter theta. Looks like a 0, but it's called theta, which is the angle, okay? The angle measurement. So that's why I put 60 over 360, because theta is the angle of the slice of pizza, okay? And I do want everyone writing this stuff down. Show me you can follow along, please. Right? I know we get sleepy on our late Monday nights, but we got to wake up. All right, so next to 60 over 360, I'm going to put pi, and r squared is really going to be 8 squared. 60 over 360, pi 8 squared. Okay? Now, we just did this at the top, but for my first answer, what am I not going to type? No pi. Okay? So I'm going to type 60 divided by 360 and then times 8 squared. No pi. Let's try that. See, there's no pi here. I hit enter. Now, if I get a fraction, I'm going to leave it as that fraction, 32 over 3. Okay? So, 32 over 3. And what do I need to put next to that? Pi. Since I didn't type it, I write it. All right? And this time, I'm going to retype it with the pi. So 60 over 360, pi 8 squared. Okay, and I get 33.51. 2 different answers, 2 different ways. Terms of pi or a decimal, okay? So if you keep doing both, then when I ask you for one of them, well then you only have to do one of them, right? Okay, so at the bottom here, let's do these sectors of these slices of circle pizza, right? Now, the formula, again, here it is. So I'm going to take this formula down here. So I'm going to do theta over 360. What is theta? What's my angle? Right here. 80, right? So I'm going to put 80 over 360. And then I'm going to put pi r squared. My r is 18. So pi 18 squared. Now, before I get these answers, I want to see if you can write the same formulas for these other two over here. So can you do it? And can you do it in like 30 seconds? That's the question. So it's a race. Go. Can you do it? All right, well, can everyone else do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? All right, I didn't mean 30 minutes, so your time's up. 30 seconds passed. So, what did we get for our formulas? Good luck. So what did you get here? 125 over 360, pi 10 squared. Now this slice is weird. It's bigger than half, right? Y'all ever eat a slice bigger than half? Like you cut off a slice and you say, oh, I'll take this big piece? No. But, well, anyways, 290 over 360, pi 9 squared. Okay? Okay, we got our formulas. Now all we got to do is type in our calculator and get our answers, right? So let's do that. 80 over 360, 18 squared. $72, okay? And next to 72, I need to put a pi. And what are my units? Feet. Are they squared? Cube? Nothing? So remember, this is area of a sector, so it is going to be squared, okay? Now, I'm going to show you a little trick, okay? If you have terms of pi, and you don't want to have to type it all back in, here's a shortcut. Take that, terms of pi, and just hit times pi. Instead of having to retype everything. Okay? 226.2. No pi next to that, feet squared. Okay? All right, so let's do the next one. 125 over 360, 10 squared. Is it 10 squared? Yeah. Okay, 625 over 18. What do I put next to it? Pi inches squared. Okay? And again, just to get the decimal answer, I just take what I already had times pi. Enter 109.08. Inches squared. All right, and then this last one, 290 over 360, 9 squared. 261 over 4. What do I put next to it? Pi feet squared. And then for the area, take that fraction times pi. 204, and that's going to actually round to 205 with that 989. So 205 feet squared. I'll give you a couple seconds, make sure you got that down as we continue to the back side. So that was all sector area. Now let's talk about arc length. It's going to look the same, but it's a little different, okay? So, again, last couple seconds. Does everyone have the bottom of the first page written down? Because it's about to be moved in a couple seconds, especially if you're a sleepyhead. You might have to catch up later. All right. All right. Flipping it over to the next page. Now we're talking about crust, okay? Some of y'all are crusty. But But seriously, who likes pizza crust? Raise your hand. All right, who eats the pizza crust first when you eat pizza? That's weird, right? But you do that? Oh, okay. Some people do. Well, okay. Who likes stuffed crust pizza? Now, if you had a stuffed crust pizza, would you eat that crust first? No? Okay. Well, whatever. Some things you just can't do, right? Some things are just wrong. No, I'm kidding. But sometimes. If it's big enough, you could fold it maybe, but actually here, who doesn't eat the crust? Who leaves that? Who leaves the crust and does not eat it? Dang. The crust is sad when you don't eat it. All right. Well, sometimes it's burnt, sometimes it's nasty. All right. Well, anyways, now back on this. So now we're going to focus on just the crust, meaning the arc length. Okay. So theoretically here. So how many degrees? So this is easy. We already did this. Half a circle, 180. Quarter of a circle, 90. Does everyone write this down? 49 degrees is obviously 49 degrees. X is X, okay? So, again, we're using a central angle, and we're on the back, right? Central angle over the total, which is 360, right? Now, this time we're not doing area, we're doing arc lengths, so we're going to, what does it say? Find the portion or fraction of the circumference, okay? If you remember, circumference is kind of like a perimeter of a circle. It's around the edge. It's a length. So you can use the measure of the arc in degrees to find its length. We keep reading. Find the circumference of the pizza. Now, up here on the black podium, this piece of paper, okay, has the circumference formula on it, if you ever forget. But it's right here as well. 2 pi r. What is the radius here? Okay, half of 30, again it's 15, so 2 pi 15. So if I want this answer in terms of pi, it's going to be 2 times 15, which should be mental math, right? Do we know 2 times 15? No? That saddens my heart. 30, okay. Now I want you to notice, this is 30, what? 30 pi centimeters. It is not squared. Is everyone looking up here? Arc length is one-dimensional. It's a length. It's not an area. It's not a volume. So you do not put squared on arc length. Okay? It's just regular old centimeters. And then to get it in a decimal format, I do times pi, and I get 94.25. So what we're going to do, that's a whole entire circle, pizza, whatever. And we're going to take that, and we're going to apply this new formula. So look over here. Arc length. Again, this is angle theta, whatever theta is, right? Theta over 360 times 2 pi r. What is my theta right here? Same as the front, 60, right? But next to it, I'm going to put 2 pi, and r is 8. 60 over 360, 2 pi 8. Okay? So let's get the terms of pi. 60 over 360 times 2 times not pi, and then 8. 8 over 3. What goes next to it? Pi. 8 over 3 pi. Regular inches. And then to get the arc length in decimal format, I just hit times pi, enter, enter, 8.38. Regular inches. Okay? So again, I'm using my formula. Don't multiply pi, and then I do multiply pi. 2 answers, right? Okay, so at the bottom here, let's set up this first equation. What's theta? What's the angle here? 45 over what? 360. And then it's times 2 pi r. What's the radius? Sure. Okay, 17. So 2 pi 17. Before we solve this, can you tell me the other two formulas real quick? And by real quick, I mean not 30 minutes, but maybe 20 seconds, because you're so smart and you're faster than before. Let's go. Write the other two formulas real quick. And that's it. All right, so if you did it, you are fast. Congratulations. But it should have been, for this one, 310 over 360, 2 pi, and then 19. This one is 150 over 360, 2 pi 6. Okay? So if you have the formulas written down, now it's just a calculator problem, right? So let's throw these in the calculator, get our three answers, and move on with our lives, right? So 45 over 360, and then 2 and 17. So we get 17 over 4. What goes next to it? Pi, and my units are feet. Regular feet. And then times pi for my decimal answer, 13.35. Regular feet. Okay? On the next one, 310 over 360, 2 and 19. $589 over 18. That's ugly. 589 over, is it 19? 18, sorry. And then put a pi, and then feet. And then to get the decimal, we're just going to take that times pi. So real quick, times pi, 102.8 feet. And then last but not least, just type it in the calculator again. 150 over 360, 26. 5 pi centimeters. And then multiply the pi. 15.71, right? Centimeters. Okay? So I know that was a lot, but it basically boils down to two formulas, right? Theta over 360 times either the area or the circumference. Okay? In terms of pi, you don't multiply pi. Decimal, you do multiply pi. And that's it. Okay? So with that new information, you can do this assignment that'll be coming around called arc length and sector area.